you doing, guys? As promised, I'm finally back today, wearing a shirt, hair kind of brushed, mostly shaved, and I have the Aketech 8GB audio recorder here, which I'm trying to turn on. I may have killed... Nope, there it goes, switching on. I haven't charged this in over a week, because I brought it with me on the trip to New York, thinking I might use it in the car to record some sound. I never did. I said I was going to record stuff that was, when I started getting on a roll, it was funny. And at one point, I said something, and I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm going to record this part. And my wife gave me the look that told me it was not that funny. So, I never used it on the trip. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to... what you're hearing right now is the camera's audio. If it's a little harsh compared to what you're used to from my other videos in the past, that was me getting an email. It's because I haven't cleaned the audio here, because I want you to hear this audio versus this audio without editing it in sound booth. So, that's the audio there. And I'm starting to record here. This does take a little bit of time to get going. It's finally recording. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down on my desk, so we might not start right here because of the sound of it clanking. And boom. So hopefully now what you're hearing is the Aketech 8GB audio recorder recording from its built-in stereo microphones about a foot away from me, just right here on my desk, not terribly far away. And at some point you may notice my lips moving and the audio being a little bit off, even though we did the famous clap. The reason for that is this suffers from audio drift like any separate recorder will, but it suffers from it in a very, very short span of time. That may differ with the camera you use. It may differ with the quality that you record at and the sound on your camera. There's a lot of things that'll affect this, but it's one of the complaints I've seen is that, like, especially within a little 5-minute clip, you'll have a ridiculous amount of audio drift by the end of it. The funny thing is, it doesn't seem to happen slowly. It's like, at one moment everything's fine, the next moment it's a little bit off, and then bam, it's gone. The audio just doesn't match up anymore. If you're the type of person who can match your audio up by eye every few minutes, this won't be a problem. My Zune does an excellent job of keeping time with my Canon Mark II. It's a DSLR camera that I use, and the audio on DSLR has always been a little so we record separate audio to that camera. So when we're doing a bigger shoot, that's what we use. They keep time pretty well, but again, I'm working with actors most of the time. I'm not doing event video. So we tend to do less than 5-minute clips. Like, even when we shot an 18-page day, we tend to do less than 5-minute clips. However, sometimes we'll stop in the middle and keep going, and it does keep sync pretty well throughout, like maybe a 10-minute take. There would be a little bit of audio drift, but something that you can just, it's not even noticeable to the naked eye most of the time. The way I do it is I'll run the original sound, and if I hear an echo, I know it's drifting off. So I wouldn't suggest this for long projects. I wouldn't suggest this for terribly big projects. But for $20, it can be very, very handy to have around. Especially if you have like a low talker on set, popping this in their pocket. If the lavalier mic works for them, it does not work for me. The lavalier mic that came with mine, the pickup is way too sensitive. It blows out. I'll probably at the very end of this run some audio clips on black. I think they're still on here. I do have a tendency to keep formatting it since there's not a card in it. But so the the lavalier mic was very, very sensitive, so my voice would boom, and then it would distort, especially the way I'm talking to you guys now, which is not very loud. But if you have a low talker, so someone who speaks like this, you might not even be able to hear me now. That person will greatly benefit from this. And if the lavalier mic is still too sensitive for them, I mean, you could just put this in their pocket. If to be off screen, your shotgun microphone has to be, way over on the other side of the room or above their head, to the point where when you balance it out for other actors, especially if you don't have somebody working audio that day, which will very often happen in independent film, where even if you do have somebody doing all of your audio mixing, preamps and fancy shooting while you're there, they may not show up on one particular day because a paying job came along, or a better paying job, or a job with more famous people involved. Whatever the reason, you might find yourself one day without an audio person and your low talker at the same time. Hide this in the room next to them. I mean, it's let's see if the audio can handle this. It's very small. Easily sits in a shirt pocket, a pants pocket. I was not able to find a second one of these anymore, but a phone case or an MP3 case, if you can find one between $1 and $5, clip it to their belt. The microphones are very conveniently placed at the side, so they will still pick up sound. Matter of fact, a lot of the recording I've done in this, it's been in its case. So it's a convenient thing to hide around, especially if you can match your audio by eye, which you may not ever want to do. It's a very difficult thing to do sometimes. But if it's that, or garbled sound, or no sound, doing that little bit of extra work will be great. If you have someone else editing your videos and someone else editing your audio, they're going to hate you if you don't slate clearly all the time. If you do your own work, or you're willing to do that part of your own work, like, oh wait, I've got this audio piece that I can drop here that'll make everything better, then by all means use it for that. It did, like I said, it did not work great with my lavalier mic, but I did hear from other people that the lavalier mic that came with theirs, right, watching other reviews, was not sensitive enough. So test your own with you, test it with other actors, see how it works for you. It worked excellently with my small Asden shotgun mic. It does not pick up a lot of outside noise with its own mics, which is fantastic. Like the buzzing in my workshop and stuff, which you'll see in another video if I decide to use it. It's not a terribly instructive video, but it's good for sound, for demonstrating this thing. It cut out the buzz from my lights. It cut out the buzz from my air conditioner. Like, you just ignored those things. It picks up voice wonderfully and seems to ignore other things. I'm not an audio guy. I'm not sure why my mic does that. If you do know why the mics on it work that well, post it down below, and we will all read it and say thank you. We didn't know how that worked, which is why you need audio people on your set. But I would say, comparing it to wirelesses and being able to mix it and having a bunch of lavaliers going to one mixer, it's definitely not a replacement. But if you can't afford those, or you don't have the person on set to work it that day, 2 or 3 of these placed around a room, plus a shotgun mic going to either your DSLR, your camera, being boomed in, or just on a mic stand, it is going to give you a much bigger array of sound. And like, if your characters are walking around the room and you set one of these on a shelf or a table hidden each place where their marks fall, you'll at least have that secondary source of sound that you can drop in for that one moment when someone might try to whisper, or for that one actor who just isn't projecting the same way as everyone else, or any of those things. And it's always nice to have extra sound. And if you can get extra sound for $20 in one place, $60 gives you 3 different places in the room, that can be a really helpful thing. Also, when you're stealing shots, so when you're in a public place that you're allowed to film, but there's a lot of noise around you, and you're technically, maybe without a permit, so you're not allowed to drop sticks. You can't have a guy there with a big, thing on his belt for sound and a cord running and all this other stuff. This will give you a nice backup sound. So you could have a shotgun mic on your camera. That'll keep your setup nice and small. If you don't have an input for your camera for a microphone, like my little Canon does, which I love the picture quality on that thing, so I like to be able to shoot with it, this is a way to be able to hook up a shotgun mic, pick up better sound. If you have 2 of these, you can use the shotgun mic to pick up sound to one, and the other one put on one of your actors, put one on each actor. $40, $60 is not a lot of money to have this extra sound coming in. And now, you're shooting on a public street and a truck goes by. That truck is going to get picked up if it's behind them on your shotgun mic, and it's going to blank out any audio you have from them. But if they have one of these in their pocket, you've got a good chance of getting something usable. If you want to stop for the truck, that'd be a better idea. But it might not be, possible. Sometimes you're moving fast on these things. I mean, one of these days, we'll have somebody who can actually shoot while we're shooting, so you can see how guerrilla filmmaking moves if it's not something you're already doing. I mean, sometimes you are running through this stuff. As much as you'd like to take your time and compose everything, it's not going to happen. Somebody, something's going to come along and make you move. The sun's going to go down, which is your only lighting guy that day or whatever. So, do I think it is a great replacement for more expensive items? No. Do I think it's a good, inexpensive tool for people who are just learning how to do separate audio to start with? Yes, because it's very, very difficult to work with that audio drift problem. And if you can work with this, you'll be able to work with anything. Do I think it's a good training tool, or rather, do I think it's a good extra tool to have in your bag of tricks? Yes. One of these days, you're going to go somewhere and the batteries on your better recorder aren't going to work, or your sound person's not going to show up, or any number of things can happen. This little thing will fit in any bag you've got. I'm sure like 80, 90, 98% of you have room for this somewhere. In your pocket, in your glove box, anywhere. And if you put it in there, when you need sound, you'll be ready. All right? So that was it today, guys. As promised, it's going to be getting up late, so calling it today. I might be a little off kilter, but you can find other reviews that'll show you more about how it works. It's 3 buttons, real basic stuff. Record, play, pause, and stop. It's got a nice locking button on the side. It charges itself with the old USB style. So it's a small, but it's not the type you'll find on your phone. So it's more like what you'd find on old hard drives. So you will need to have the cord that comes with it, or one of those cords with you. It's got, I'm trying to see these things here because the light's in my face. It's got a menu button, and it's fairly easy to navigate if I've been navigating it. So I think you guys will have no real trouble using it. It's pretty basic out of the box, and it auto shuts itself off if you're not using it for a time, because like I said, well, assuming this is still rolling, like I said, the battery has not been charged in at least 8 or 9 days, and I don't think I charged it before that, so I think I've only charged it once since I've owned it, and it still seems to be working. Alright guys, I'm going to pause it. Yeah, so it was working that whole time. I paused it at 11:11, make a wish. We're now back to the regular audio here. At 11:11, I've likely had to match that up a bunch of times. We'll be back in the workshop later this week, and we'll be out in the yard looking at the giant bumper I keep promising to show you guys probably sometime by the end of the week or early next week. And then next week we go in for more shots on Jack versus Lanterns. And then after that, more filming of Wary Tales, where I hope to make use of this little device, because we'll be doing a lot of shooting outside, and in places where running cords and stuff is not going to be very convenient. The less heavy equipment we have to carry with us, the better. All right, so we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped somebody. Bye-bye. Okay, so we're back to the shotgun microphone on a table facing me about 4 or 5 feet away, next to hard drives that are now just kind of humming along because they're done doing their task. I kind of was hoping for more noise than that. But let's see what it picks up. And now I'm going to do different volumes. This is me talking normally. This is me talking like an actor on stage. Okay, again, this is the small shotgun microphone, the little Asden. In the kitchen, refrigerator closer to the mic, me about, let's go all the way to the other side of the room here. The microphone's facing me. There's furniture between me. I'd say I'm 20 feet away now. So 20 feet away, let's say I expect to be having to project to the microphone where it is. I'm going to walk up to it now. This is me getting closer and closer to the microphone to see how it'll change the sound. And here I am. And this is it as if it was on my body. And this is it as far away as my arm will go.